high school, I worked as a host at a restaurant, and the host stand was right next to the smoking section. And every single night, I came home reeking of cigarette smoke. People even smoked on planes. Lighting up in a restaurant or on a plane feels unthinkable today. The cultural shift is complete. And change can be like that. It can feel impossible until it's inevitable. An event horizon moment, if you will. And today, we're facing another problem that feels impossible: plastic. Plastic is in the air. It's in our water. It's even in our bodies. And the plastic industry is telling us there's nothing we can do about it. It's too essential to our lives. We've heard that story before. We heard it with tobacco. We heard it with asbestos. We heard it with lead paint. And yet each of those stories changed. So what happened? Well, one thing that happened is people started suing. People got sick from smoking. They sued the tobacco companies. The tobacco companies said, "Not our fault. You chose to smoke." And those early lawsuits failed. And then state attorneys general stepped in, and they reframed the issue from one of personal choice to a public health crisis and a corporate accountability issue. And that changed everything. The tobacco companies were now on the hook for billions in damages, and the smoking bans that seemed unimaginable to teenage me became the norm. Asbestos tells a similar story. Litigation revealed that the companies knew for decades the harms caused by asbestos. And those lawsuits led to worker protections, regulation of asbestos, and compensation funds. Lead paint, another similar story. Cities and states sued paint manufacturers for poisoning generations of children. And as a result, they obtained funds for cleanup and prevention and shifted the responsibility from families back to the companies that caused the harm. And even losses can be catalytic. The youth climate change cases have lost at federal court, and yet they've created a public narrative. They've given a voice to youth to demand a livable future. And they set the stage for state-level wins in Montana and in Hawaii. Because lawsuits aren't just about courtroom victories. They're about exposing truths, building public narratives, and reframing issues from the personal to the systemic. So what does this have to do with plastic? Well, plastic is now on trial all across the life cycle, from production to marketing and use, to disposal and waste, to the health and environmental impacts. We are seeing lawsuits being used to create change. Let's start with production, where the harm begins. In Louisiana, Rise St. James, a community group, challenged a permit for a massive petrochemical expansion. As a result, they stopped the Formosa Plastics Complex and prevented tons of plastic and pollution from ever coming into existing. Stopping the harm before it begins. Marketing and use. Plastic companies are telling us that their products are harmless, eco-friendly, green. Consumer protection lawsuits, like those filed by Plastic Pollution Coalition, are challenging those statements. And as a result, companies are being forced to be honest to consumers, and some are even choosing to change the materials they're using. Disposal and waste. We are drowning in plastic waste and the costs of cleaning it up. We've filed a lawsuit against major corporations like Coke and Pepsi for the costs of cleaning up their plastic products. Cities and states are filing similar public nuisance cases. These cases are shifting the responsibility from taxpayers back to the companies that cause these harms and demanding that these companies shift to more sustainable alternatives. And then there's the end-of-life impacts of plastic on our health and on the environment. Cases filed on these issues will lead to disclosures, regulation, and compensation funds. So across the plastic life cycle, we are seeing that litigation is being used as a tool to stop harm, to require truth, to shift the responsibility, and to force a reckoning with plastic's true costs. Of course, litigation can't achieve all of this on its own. It needs to be paired with other powerful tools like science, technology, policy, communications, and coalition building. And together, when combined, these tools can create the conditions for enduring change. So yes, right now, plastic feels as impossible as tobacco once did. And change can be like that. It can be really slow until suddenly it happens rapidly. And litigation is one tool that's pulling us towards that event horizon, where public will, accountability, and truth converge to create lasting change. And if we act boldly now, the world that we dream of, free of plastic pollution, can, by 2040, be as inevitable as smoke-free air. Thank you.